Now, out of those 500 people, you never can tell who among them may become a paying client or a paying customer out of those 500, 500 people, that you spoke to. Now, what gave you the passport? What gave you the room? What gave you the key to get that speaking engagement is because you are an author in your industry. If you're into real estate and you write a book on how to buy your first property, even if it's not a physical book, even if it's a PDF, even if it's an ebook, but there's an author behind your name, it gives credibility. It opens doors up for speaking gig. If the media, for example, wants to interview somebody, if the media wants to interview somebody about your industry, for example, it is the person that has written a book that they will interview. That's the person. Let's say if we're in the same industry, for example, if we're all in the same industry, for example, maybe we are all in the food industry, for example, and I have one restaurant or I have two restaurants and another person has 10 restaurants, and out of my experience of opening 2 or 3 restaurants, I put it up in a book and I wrote a book about it. All right. So, and if Channels wants to interview somebody about how the restaurants people are coping in this pandemic time, I think 9 times out of 10, the person who has written a book will probably be the person that Channels or CNN is going to interview. Now, that person is not the best chef, it's not the best restaurateur in the country, but is the most visible because the book gave that person that level of visibility. All right, so I want to encourage you that I think I have written 6 books, and I know the possibilities that those 6 books has done for my career, have done for my personal life. I know how powerful they are. That is the reason why I am a big proponent of people writing books. It's very, very important. It may be a soft copy book, it may be a hard copy book. Someone said that Ridgeway Realtors me, at what time in your journey as an expert in your field should one write a book? Well, these are some of the things that I'll be discussing in this webinar that I'll be doing. I'm doing a webinar called The Wealthy Author, 10 Surefire Ways to Sell the first 1,000 copies of your books in 90 days. I sell over 3,000 copies of my book every single year. I've written 6 books, and every single year I sell over 3,000 copies of my book every single year. One of my book alone, 10 Secrets of Successful Young People, I sell 1,000 copies of that book every single year to children. A particular organization buys 1,000 copies of that book from my hand and give to children every year. So I know what I'm talking about. That's why I'm using this opportunity to invite each and every one of you to register for my webinar coming up called 10 Surefire Ways to Sell the First 1,000 Copies of Your Book. The webinar is 3,500 naira, and if you register for that webinar, I will give you my audio recording on how to grow from 0 to 10,000 Instagram followers and make money in the process. I have 28,000 followers on Instagram. I make money from Instagram every day, including this morning, including yesterday. People paid for my product, including today. So I can show you how to make money from the platform. If you register for this course that you're seeing online here, it's very cheap. It's 3,500 naira for the course. You will get my Instagram guide on how to go from 0 to 10,000 followers on Instagram and how to monetize Instagram in the process. So let's get back to how to why you should write a book and why that is important to you. It doesn't have to be a physical book like this book. I'm reading this book on writing by Stephen King. It's a very good book. All right, it doesn't have to be a physical book. It can be an ebook, and I'll tell you how you can use that ebook to get more business as you go along. All right, so it opens doors to speaking engagement when you write books. Some people have invited me to speak at events. Some people have invited me to speak at conferences before because of the fact that I am an author, not because of the fact that they know me. Someone read my book, they liked the book, and I've gotten coaching I've gotten coaching engagements before, people paying me over 100,000 to coach them because the person said, you know what, I read your book and I like the book that I read, so that is the reason why I am calling you, so if you can coach me on this and on that. So it opens doors for speaking engagement, it opens doors for more business. If you're a realtor, for example, and you're an author, it may open door for people to have a conversation with you. I have a client called Tayo Odunsi. Is the owner of North Court. North Court is a real estate company. Tayo lives both in the UK and lives both in Nigeria. He has also written a book. He has been interviewed on Channels Television. He has been interviewed on Business Day newspaper. He has been interviewed on all kinds. GTEX owns. Please check your bio. I have check your DM. I've responded to your DM. This our class. We should have it by 5 p.m. GTEX owns. Let's have it by 5 p.m. today. I realize that I have something to do between 4 to 5 p.m. I'm interviewing some people in my tribe. All right, 4 to 4:30 to 5 p.m. Yeah, so let's do 5 p.m. please. Just change that. All right, so when you write a book, it opens doors for speaking engagement. Very, very important. The next thing that writing books does for you, that it gives you extra income. If you're an author, you get extra income for it. I told you I sell over 2,000 copies of my book every single year. So you can imagine what that can translate to, in income generation for me and my family. So that is important. Then the other one is that it gives you authority. It gives you authority. When you write a book, it gives your name authority in your industry. Okay, so this is Stephen King. I'm sure those of you who like to read books like I do, you will know about Stephen King. He's a non-fiction writer. Sorry, he's a fiction writer. All right, when he started that, he was writing under a pseudonym. That means not his real name. Called Richard Bachman, called the Bachman Book. All right, so he wrote one book called, I think, The Long Walk, with his pseudonym, Richard Bachman. And that book went on to sell only 20,000 copies in the first year. Now, in Nigerian standard, that's a lot of sales. But in America's standard, that's very dismal. All right, that's not much. And in Stephen King's standard, that is unheard of. That's appalling. All right. So when his readers began to read that Richard Bachman book, most of his readers said, "This sounds like Stephen King." It sounds like vintage Stephen King. I mean, the book just grabs you by the neck. All right. So now they now changed that same book. They changed. They knew that they found out it was Stephen King. All right. So they changed They didn't change the content. They only now change the name of the author. That's all. They changed the name of the author from Richard Bachman to Stephen King. And when they did that, that book went on to sell 200,000 copies in less than a year. In less than a year. When it was Richard Bachman, the book sold 20,000 copies in a year. When it was Stephen King, it sold 200,000 copies in less than a year. So that means that writing books gives your name credibility. And when your name has credibility, it shifts the dynamics for you. It helps you to make more sales. It helps you to open more doors. All right. So who wants to come in for the class? Who would want to register for the webinar? Who would want to register for that webinar? Who want to register for that webinar? Who wants to register for that? So I've got a class coming up. It's called Wealthy Author. It's called 10 Surefire Ways to Sell the First 1,000 Copies of Your Book in 90 days. If you register for that class now, it's 3,500 naira. I will give you my from 0 to 10,000 Instagram followers guide and how to make money on Instagram guide. I'll give that to you for free because that alone would have cost you 5,000 extra, but you get to get that one for free if you register for the webinar taking place on the 3rd of May. The price is 3,500 today, and the price may go up tomorrow to 8,000 naira. So you want to take advantage of that now. You want to take advantage of that now. Who wants to come for the class? Say aye. Who wants to register for the class? Say aye. Hello, have you got a question? Okay, so if you want to, you have just click on the link in my Instagram bio and register, for the class. And then the last thing I'll speak about today about why you should author a book is that it sweetens the pot for you. I have a WhatsApp group as well. Myself and all my village country people. Are you sure you're just joking with me? I won't take you seriously until you have seen your payment. When I see your payment, I'll know that you want to come for the class. All right. So the other day I told every member of my WhatsApp group. I have a paid WhatsApp group. I have 230 people in my paid WhatsApp group. I give them assignments. I teach every week, every day. I bring in experts to come and teach. In fact, this Wednesday we have someone teaching us from Texas on artificial intelligence, robotics, and the future of business using technology. This Wednesday, to join the group, you click on the link in my Instagram bio to join my WhatsApp group. It's 3,000 naira to join the group as well for 1 month. All right, it's a monthly subscription. Okay. One thing that writing a book can also do for you is that it can also be a strategy whereby you can use to pile up benefits for your customers. So let's say, for example, you sell real estate, for example, and you can even tell them that, you know what, if you buy a property from me, in addition to all the things I'm going to do for you, I will send you a free copy of my book, The 5 Things to Look At Before You Buy a Property in the City of Lagos. So, I mean, that's an addition. That is an add-on. All right. So it's called, or you call it the suya principle. You know, the suya man will give you suya to taste first before you buy. So you can give them a copy of your book as an addition for them buying the book, for them buying a product from you. All right. So have you got any question to ask before I call this a wrap? It's just a short thing before I go on. Any questions? Who wants to register for the webinar today? Say I sell food stuff. How can the training help my business? Oh, fantastic. Can I help your business a lot? What kind of food stuff do you sell? All food. What kind of food stuff do you sell? What kind of food stuff do you sell? Kemi, please come. What kind of food stuff do you sell? Okay, raw food stuff. Good. Can I have some more water? Thank you very much. Fill it up. Yes, fill it up. Put water in the bottom. You sell raw food stuff. What you can do is that you can do 5 healthy raw food that you should have in your house. So you can just, what you can choose, you could 5 ways to store raw food at home, even if you don't have a fridge. 5 ways to store raw food at home, even if you do not have a fridge. So you can what you can do is that the lady that all food is that what you can do is that you can hold your phone like I'm holding my phone right now. Put on the voice note in your phone, because every phone has a voice note, and just highlight. Thank you. And just highlight the 5 ways to preserve raw food in your house, because sometimes we have problem of preserving rice, beans, and pepper in our houses. So you can say, here are the 5 ways through which you can preserve raw food in your house. Number 1, get a dry container. Number 2, when the sun is out, put it up in the sun. I'm just thinking off the top of my head. So when you finish recording that 5 ways to preserve food in the house, then you go to a website called rev.com, rev.com. That your voice, Rev, for $2, Rev can now translate that your voice